tell us a little bit about the actual, like, what does mentalism do? How do you fool people? All that good stuff.
Mentalism is a flavor of magic show. Most people don't know how much they would love magicians and magic. They just know that their uncle did some stupid magic tricks. My uncle was stupid. I hate magic. So they have a negative perception of what magic can be. So I usually say, oh, no, it's completely different. But mentalism is a kind of a niche within the world of magic and mystery entertainment. So basically during the show, and it's a theater show, not a cult, is that I make it look like I can read minds. And it's all just applied psychology, showmanship, and moxie. Those are the three secret ingredients of what I do. So yeah, I used that to travel the world for a good 10 years, entertained folks all over the place of all walks of life, and what I do still works. So it doesn't matter what culture you grew up in, these processes are still in play. So that's kind of how I got started. And then thinking about, wow, how does all this stuff work is the rabbit hole that led me into doing the corporate consulting and speaking stuff.
Makes sense. So the problem is that unfortunately people don't learn, people don't understand the world. And I have, crafted a bunch of questions, and my goal. So the thing is, you could watch Jonathan Pritchard. You could watch him he's been in about 150 podcasts. He's highly successful doing all the things that he's doing. If you're watching this on YouTube, his setup is just absolutely incredible. But my goal for this podcast is to ask him questions that he's never received before, yell on topics that you've never talked about before, and hopefully, make this a unique podcast. You can look at the other 150 podcasts if you want to, just learn about the basics. So we're done with the basics. Now I want to get into actually what the real problem is. And I sort of painted it like this, and tell me sort of how you feel about it. The problem is that we live in essentially multiple different worlds, right? So your world is different from my world. And the reason why is because we don't see reality as it is. So sort of explain how that applies to mentalism and sort of, this deep-rooted problem in essentially perception.
Yeah, you got it. Let me walk you through it. It's better to show you than talk about it, really. And do you have an iPhone or Android or anything close by?
Actually, unfortunately, I carry a flip phone, but
you've got a flip phone. That's amazing.
I'm a bit of a nomad, but yeah.
Okay. So the flip phone, I had one a long time ago. So let me remember. Don't check yet. Don't check. But is there kind of like a home screen where there's the contacts phone, that kind of thing, like where there are icons on the home screen, right? So this might actually still work, right? So put your flip phone face down,
okay,
so that you're not tempted. And for anybody that's playing along at home, if you've got an iPhone or an Android instead of Nick's flip phone, this will be easier for you to follow along. Please don't follow along if you're driving. But the idea is that you see that home screen all the time. And like most addicts, you've looked at it 150, 200 times a day.
Worse.
Right? So you should know what icon is in the upper left-hand corner of your home screen. You should know, right? Because you've seen it today. We're kind of in the evening time. So you're in the upper 100 at least, right? Now, dudes aren't the greatest at this, so good luck with this. But the idea is to lock in your head what you think that top left corner icon is.
So I'm even worse because the flip phone actually only has 9 icons. You can't change the icons. They never move around. It's not like an iPhone where you could change it. I'm trying to think. I'm going to say my contacts. I think it's my contacts.
All right. So you're committing to contacts. So not yet, but in just a moment, on the count of 3, you're going to turn it over. You're going to flip it open. And is it locked? Do you have to unlock it?
No, it just opens.
So it just opens and then you can check and then close it, right? So for the folks that are playing along, I'm going to walk them through the stages of lighting up your phone. Then you unlock it. Then you're looking at your home screen, right? So on the count of 3, I want you to check, then put it face down again, right? So go for it. 1, 2, 3, check. All right. Did you get it right or wrong?
Wrong.
Okay. So you got it wrong. That's the first failure. But if I remember correctly, there should be that top bar that's always been on cell phones that indicates your cell coverage level, and also the time is in the corner there too.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the time when you were looking?
No, I wasn't paying attention to that.
And anybody that was trying this out too, if it's an iPhone or an Android, when you light up your phone before you unlock it, you've got the time right there too. Even if you did unlock it, it's up in the corner there as well. So that information was available to you the whole time.
It was.
However, due to the nature of my request, it made you prioritize some information over others.
Yeah.
So you have limited attention and your conscious mind focused it on what was most valuable to you, because the value was in the upper left-hand corner of what that icon was. So your values dictate what you see.
And what you focus on.
And what you focus on dictates what you don't see. So here's the weird part about it. Early on, as you're kind of installing the personality and the operating system of you've had experiences that are logical for you to come to the conclusions that you have about how the world works.
Such as?
If I trust somebody, they're going to hurt me.
Okay.
Parents care for me. Parents mean love and safety.
Yeah, this is deep rooted, right? This is
super deep rooted. This is not, I like Wheaties.
Yeah.
This is fundamental beliefs about how the world works that are so deep that you're never consciously aware of them.
Yeah.
The weird thing, though, is that they're installed very young and they're running in the background the whole time. And as that stupid example of the cell phone and the icon shows, your values dictate what you're aware of. So if your fundamental values dictate that trust equals pain, then that's the only thing you're going to see, because your values mean that you're going to ignore anything that does not equal trust equals pain.
So anytime, let's say you get into a good relationship, that would just completely implode because you would believe that trusting it leads to more pain. Okay.
Exactly. And the weird thing is that you don't see that it's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like you didn't see the time, you would only see the icon. And the icon is the bad in this weird metaphor, right?
Okay.
So the weirder part is that then it's reinforcing your fundamental beliefs that relationships are bad, or whatever that belief is, because you keep seeing it again and again and again, and you've got multiple examples of proof that I am correct about the way that I see the world.
Interesting.
But it's because your values dictate what you're aware of.
So it's self-fulfilling.
Exactly. And self-propagating and self-reinforcing.
Jeez. Okay.
So it's not that you and I are experiencing two different realities.
Mm-hmm.
It's that reality is an empirical thing that exists without us. And our pre-existing beliefs dictate the way that we're going to relate with it. And it dictates the experience that we could have from it. So that's why you and I could go through the exact same process, and both of us will be changed in different ways in alignment with our pre-existing beliefs about what life is.
Got it. So like, and you see this all the time with like political speeches and stuff like that. Like someone will say just the same neutral phrase, but then two people will take it completely differently.
Exactly.
Got it. So now I could see sort of how this kind of, I guess, falls into the problem of communication, right? Like miscommunication. And that's your specialty, right? Like teaching people how to communicate the human flaws. And I'm assuming there's a lot of, being able to put aside these barriers.
I think of it like every single person has their own language. And the more languages you can speak, the more people you can connect with. Mm-hmm. And that's also in a literal way. The more languages you can speak, the more people you can connect with. And the more adept you get at understanding more and more languages, the easier time you have. Most people, though, learn to speak my language. If you want to talk to me, you're going to learn my language.
Yeah.
That is a low resolution understanding of reality, way of navigating things, right? It's kind of like, oh, you think you're so valuable that 4 point whatever billion people on planet Earth should take time out of their day to learn you. Okay, sure. Well, okay. Well, actually, that might be worth it for folks like us to learn to connect with as many people as possible as quickly as possible.